Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by to watch this very interesting video. A very long overdue video, really. I think I should have done this like 5 years ago when I had my first VBAC, but better late than never. So let's talk about it. Sex after VBAC with a third-degree tear. Now, why am I sharing this even though it's been quite some time? Obviously, there are lots of mothers out there and upcoming mothers that will most likely go through this. I'm not the first to go through a VBAC with a third-degree tear, and I won't be the last. So I do want to be able to have this information out there for women who don't want to be blindsided like I was. I didn't have anybody that had gone through this to tell me what to expect, and so I want to have that information out there. I want to be really open, transparent, and honest about this experience so that it can help other mothers out there. As much as it's difficult for me to share some of this because, you know, I do get a little shy when I talk about anything sex related, so this is a very big deal for me, and so know that it's because I know this information is going to be helpful to women out there. That's why I'm biting the bullet and doing this video. All right, let's talk about it. So if you've been following me for a while now, you know that I've had 2 VBACs at this point, and both times I did get a third-degree tear. The first time though was, you know, the biggest shock of my life after I was ready to get back into the swing of things with my spouse, and so I'm going to talk about that first. So I had my baby early March, so like March 6th, and then typically when you have a baby, you know, you're advised to wait 6 weeks before you resume sexual activities. Whether it was VBAC, whether it's vaginal birth, whether it's C-section, you're advised to, you know, wait at least 6 weeks. And so for me, it took honestly almost 3 months because I really just wanted to be sure that I was fully healed, like I wasn't gonna feel like pain or my stitches weren't gonna all of a sudden bust open. I do get a little fearful with these kind of things, so I made sure that I gave myself enough time. And so, you know, after almost 3 months, it was time for my husband and I to, you know, try having sex again, and boy, we were in for a surprise. Oh my gosh, like it literally felt like I didn't even have a hole anymore. My husband could not get anywhere, could not even penetrate. That's how it was. And y'all, I'm not trying to scare you. I hope I don't scare you. I would rather get you to know the possibilities than to be blindsided like me. So this is not a scare story, just an informational story, so you would be better prepared than I was. But yeah, it really felt like my husband couldn't really go anywhere. It felt like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, except the square peg is 5 times bigger than the round hole. Yeah. And so we really had to like pause and stop and like just first of all get over the shock of what's going on. You know, all the thoughts running in your head. Is this how it's gonna be forever? Am I not gonna be able to have sex anymore? Is my husband gonna be okay? Like all the thoughts, all the things that you're thinking about, you know. And so we really had to take a moment and process all that, and then like think about ways that we could, you know, use to try to break that barrier or to try to get past that, you know, initial impossibility. Okay, so we came up with a few ideas that really helped us, and so here are 3 things that we would encourage anybody to, you know, consider or to do if you find yourself in this situation. So the first thing is to have a lot of lube on hand. Even when you're having normal sex, it's recommended you have, you know, lube on hand to make things easier. So how much more at a time like this when you really need the help. So make sure you have a lot on hand, whether it's water-based, oil-based, whatever your cup of tea is, make sure you have a lot on hand. The second one is to communicate. Make sure you communicate with your partner, make sure he's gentle, like y'all are on the same page that this is re-entry, for lack of better words. Re-entry, this is like a retraining of your vaginal muscles, and so it's not going to be the fireworks, it's not going to be a freak session, it's a learning ground, it's a learning mode, and so we're not having high expectations of things that we can't meet right now. So, you know, just have that line of communication open and, you know, talk through it throughout the whole process. And I tell you, that's going to make a big difference. Now, this third and final point could be a little controversial for people, but I really don't think it is. But like I said, because I know it's going to be helpful, I'm going to share it anyways. So the third point is to use a small vibrator to help open up your vaginal canal before a human being goes in there.
This is a screenshot from WebMD. You can go ahead and pause it to read what it says.
Now, before I go any further, I do want to mention this, that objects are just objects. Objects are amoral, meaning they don't have morals, they don't have values. An object is literally just an object. It can't think, it's just an object. The human behind the object is what gives it a purpose. It's what gives it, what to do. So for example, if you're in the kitchen and you use a knife to cut fruits, veggies, you're using it to cook. It's a cooking apparatus, or it's a cooking tool. But then if you're using the knife to go around and stab people, that becomes a weapon, and you, the human behind it, are using it for evil or for, negative things. And so when I talk about you using the vibrator here in this case, which really is, I'll say, is a medical use, because you're really trying to loosen up your vaginal muscles and, open up things slowly so that your spouse can be able to go without any problem. And so once you use that and you get into a cadence of your husband being okay to penetrate all by himself and you're not feeling pain anymore, you can chuck it. Just toss it, do away with it. It doesn't need to become something that is, you're using for the wrong purposes. Again, use things for the right reason. It truly did wonders for me and my spouse. And really after like either 1 or 2 times, we didn't need it anymore. And so, we tossed it, and then it was just me and my spouse from there. The whole experience was a very interesting one because we went through so many emotions all at the same time, just thinking through so many things that we honestly didn't even know we were going to overcome it, but obviously we did. And so just want to let you know that you will overcome it too. It's not going to be like that forever. And that was really only after my first VBAC. After my second one, it wasn't like that. I was honestly very nervous because I thought it was going to be the same experience, but after the second VBAC that I had, it wasn't like that. Things were not as tight. It was, very normal, and yeah, I didn't have to go through that experience twice. And so just wanted to come by and share that experience with you to let you know what to expect if that is what you're going through, if that is what you end up encountering. I hope that these tips can help you to overcome it and you can have a good and awesome sex life again with your spouse. If this video has been helpful to you, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in my next video.